Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about 4 secrets to letting go that make you attractive. Okay, so if you want to look more attractive, there are some things that you can do by letting go, being a lot more relaxed, that can make you look so attractive. Okay, so let's get into these 4 secrets to letting go that make you super attractive. Okay, so the first one is just have an attitude of let's just see how things go. So when you go out on a date with someone and when you meet someone new, what you want to have in mind is that, okay, I just want to see where things go. I don't want to get too attached to this person, right? Because this was a problem that I had, right? I would go from 0 to 100 straight away, right? So I would meet a girl, I would think that they're really attractive, and then I would instantly be like, oh yeah, I want to be in a relationship with them, and I'll start like over pursuing them. I'll start trying to like ask them, hey, do you still like me? Are you still interested in me? Because I was insecure, right? And all those women that I did that to, they just flew right out of my life. They ran for the hills because I was too attached, right? I was acting like I already couldn't live without them, even though I'd only spent like a couple of hours with them on a date. Right? Which is insane if you kind of think about it, because you can't really know someone really deeply and have on that level, basically, when you've only spent a couple of hours with them in real time, right? And they know that, right? They know like, hey, we've only been on one date. You've only spent like 2 hours with me. How can you already be acting like this? It's super weird, right? That's how someone feels when you come on too strong, too soon. Right? They think this is weird, this is creepy, this person's already in love with me, and we've only spent 2 hours together, right? Now, so what this means then is that you've got to have a more of a, I don't know this person quite yet, I just want to get to know them first, right? This is how you let go, right? This was going to make you look attractive. And that is by having that attitude of, I'm just going to see where things go. I'm just going to go out on this date with this person. And I'm going to get to know them, and I'm going to maybe I don't like them, maybe I won't like them, so I've got to make sure that this is someone that I could actually like, right? So you got to be less worried about, oh my god, are they going to like me, and more worried about, am I actually going to like them? Because when you pay more attention when you're on a date and you ask them questions and things like that, you start to figure out who this person is, right? And sometimes when you're just too enamored by their beauty or how handsome they look or something like that, then sometimes that can cloud your judgment. And this is something that happened to me. So I remember when I first started dating a girl who is an example I use a lot in my videos, the girl that cheated on me. Within like the first few weeks of dating her, within like the first month, she asked me, oh, what would you do if I cheated on you, right? And now that was a red flag at the time. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I got really defensive. I was like, well, I'll probably dump you or something like that. I remember saying something like that. And I let it go. I didn't question it. I should have questioned it way more, right? It should have been like a massive red flag and said, hey, you know what? If she's asking you something like that, it probably means that she's going to cheat on you, right? But at the time, because I was so enamored by her beauty and things like that, and was having such a great time, that I ignored it, right? I ignored the red flag. So it's important then that you remain detached a little bit when it's in these first fragile stages, within the first couple of months of dating someone. You got to be really trying to find out who this person is and staying acutely aware and being aware basically of the red flags. Now, red flags for you might be different from me. So you got to figure out what your deal breakers are, basically. Like, what are the things that you could not tolerate? One of the things that I could not tolerate was being cheated on, right? But you may not mind that. Perhaps you're someone who's more into polyamory or something like that. You're more polyamorous. So, so you might not mind that. Perhaps you would find that kind of cool, that you could have more of a open relationship like that. Whereas me, I couldn't stand that. I didn't want that. So you got to be careful. You got to know what you really want in life, what you would really want in a life partner. And if they do any of the opposite, that's like a deal breaker that would really upset you, basically, then you've got to watch out for that and if they display any of those red flags, then you've got to know that this is someone who you're probably not going to go out on another date with. Okay. So that's why it's important that you remain very critical, right? Because one of the things that I see with people, sometimes people spend more time on, figuring out what kind of car they want to buy or what kind of house that they want to buy than the person who they're going to spend the rest of their life with, right? And so many people just get into relationships without questioning these things, right? Without, they ignore all the red flags because they're like, oh yeah, they're good looking, they make nice food, or they do all these other kinds of things. That's great. But they ignore all the rest. And then they end up 5 years down the line with a mortgage, a couple of kids, married, and they're like, oh my God, what did I do? I married the wrong person. Because all their bad habits start to show themselves as time sort of goes on, right? And it's all because they ignored all the red flags to begin with. And they probably think back and like, oh yeah, when we went on that date, they said this, they said that. And I just didn't believe it. I just thought, oh yeah, I could change them or whatever. Or they just ignored it completely, like what I did with the girl that cheated on me. So it's like, it's just one of those things, So you gotta have a see where things go kind of attitude. And this will also make you look more attractive because let's say you go out on a date with someone who is like really, really beautiful, really hot in your opinion. They've probably had loads of people that fall in love with them really fast and become super needy. Whereas if you're kind of more laid back and you just have this let's just see how things go kind of attitude, that'll make them more attracted to you because you're not behaving like how everyone else behaves around them, which is they all fall at their feet and they all offer them flowers and engagement rings and things like that. So if you're acting the opposite of that and you're being a little bit more reserved, you're trying to figure them out, trying to find out if this is the right person for you, then they're going to become more attracted to you, right? So it's a win-win basically. So another secret of letting go that makes you really attractive is if it works out, great. But if not, I'll just find someone better. So this is kind of another attitude thing that you gotta have. You gotta feel like, okay, so if this works out, great, that's awesome. But if not, it's fine because I'll just find someone else. I'll just find someone better, right? So again, it's being very detached, being like, okay, so when you meet someone who you like, right? Maybe you got to consider that at some point, maybe this won't work out. Maybe they'll lose interest in me. Maybe, things will just happen and we just won't be together. Perhaps they'll move away or they need to go somewhere or they can't be with me for whatever reason. So you got to be open to the fact that this person is probably someone that you're going to lose, right? And you have to be okay with that. Okay, you have to be okay with that and realize that there's an abundance of people out there that you can date. Because this is the thing that people get scared about, right? They meet someone that they like, just enough, right? Maybe they've got some red flags, maybe not. But they meet someone that they like just enough and they cling on to that person and they make that person their whole life, right? And they think, okay, this is it. This is the one for me. And I can't lose them because it took me ages to find this one person and I don't want to be single again. So I'm just going to cling on to this person. And they're just really desperate to keep this person, right? And it's all because it's all because of fear, right? It's all because of fear, because they fear that if things were to end with this person, that they won't find anyone else. But the truth is that you can, right? You can. So, for example, for me, I believed this. Even though I was the one that ended that relationship with the girl that cheated on me, for a while I believed that, oh yeah, I'm probably not going to find anyone like her. I'm probably not going to find anyone who loves me as much as her. I'm not going to find anyone as good looking as her. Things like that. I had all these thoughts about that. But I did, right? I found someone way better. Like way better looking, someone who was who loved me more, cared about me more, who would never cheat on me, who would never hurt me in that way, right? I did, and I found my wife, and it kind of opened up a new paradigm in my life because like I said, I didn't think I could find someone who loved me as much as my ex did. I didn't think that was possible, but it was, and sometimes you don't really know these things until it happens, but I can guarantee it. You can find someone better than your ex, find someone better than the person that you may be currently dating who's losing interest in you, or if someone loses interest in you in the future, you can find someone better, someone more well suited to you. Okay, now this is good news for you if you're a straight guy watching this or a straight woman, because your dating pool is way bigger than mine, okay? If I was able to do it as a lesbian, where my dating pool is a lot more small, because there's not as many lesbians as there are, straight women and straight men. So my dating pool is really shallow, right? I've got a small pool, but you've got a huge one, right? There's plenty of people out there, okay? So you're definitely going to find someone better, okay? Definitely, right? I can guarantee it. If I can, you definitely can, okay? So That's another thing that's going to make you look more attractive as well, because you're not attached. So because what happens is, if you feel like you're going to lose someone and you're worried about losing someone, you're going to get needy, you're going to get insecure. But if you don't mind losing them, if you're like, okay, I would love for them to stay in my life, but you know what, I know that if they do leave my life, I'm going to be okay. I can survive that, right? If you have that kind of attitude, then that's going to make you look more attractive as well, because you're less attached. You know that, okay, well, if we get into a relationship and she or he makes a mistake and I'm gone and I'll leave, I'll know that I'll be okay. Sure, it would suck. Sure, I would love for us to stay together. But if something ever happened where we had to break up, then I know I'll be fine. I know I'll be okay. I know that I can find someone else. I know that I'll find love again. And having that makes it so much more easier to love the other person as well, because you can just worry less about losing them. Right? You can worry less about that. And that makes you look more attractive, because you're less attached, you're less needy, okay? So another secret to letting go that makes you look attractive is that non-attachment like this, right, makes you less likely to make mistakes, especially in the dating process. Those first few like fragile dates where you could easily scare someone off, by being too needy and things like that. So that's really, really essential, right? Because if you are needy, if you're insecure, if you're always reaching out to them because you're worried about where you stand with them, that's going to put them off you, right? That will put them off you. Okay, especially if it's something you're doing all of the time. Now, of course, sometimes we do get a bit insecure. Even I sometimes get a little bit insecure with my wife, and you need that affirmation that they still care about you and stuff, right? My wife gets like that with me as well. So it's like sometimes you do feel a little bit insecure, especially if like old childhood wounds sort of surfacing and things trigger you and whatnot. So it's okay to be a little bit insecure. It's okay to do that. But if it's something all the time, like if you're always in their DMs. Like if you've only been on one date with someone and you're acting like you can't live without them, you're going to have some serious issues with trying to keep that person in your life, because they're going to get sick of it. They're going to get tired of it. Like I remember when my wife told me about a situation where she got sent like 2 bunches of flowers after being on one date with a woman, right? When she was still single. And, that's something that I would have done back in the day. I would have done something crazy like that if I was super into someone. And it completely put my wife off when she did that. She was like, no, I don't want to date that person anymore. And that girl, after sending those 2 bunches of flowers, was sending my wife loads of text messages saying, oh, I'm sorry, was that too much? Do you not like me anymore? Being really insecure. And my wife had only been on one date. One day, only spent a couple of hours with this girl, right? And, I'm lucky that I actually learnt this kind of thing before I met my wife, because I would have acted just like that, right? And I would have lost my wife if I had carried on the way that I did. But luckily, I did learn better. If you'd like to learn the things that I learned, you can go and check out the books, my recommended books in this video's description box. Those are the books that have helped me over the years about dating, relationships, and personal development as well. Okay, so if you want to learn what I learned, then those are the best books for you. Okay. If you do buy any of those books, I will get a small commission, but there will be no extra charge to you. Okay. So the 4th secret then to letting go that makes you look attractive is you don't look needy, right? It's the importance of not looking needy. And if you look less needy, you will look more attractive. So neediness, you got to realize, is unattractive. But so there being non-attached and letting go is attractive. Okay, so that's what you got to realize here. Okay, that you got to make that connection. Neediness, unattractive. Letting go, being more relaxed about it, attractive. Okay. So in Mark Manson's book, you'll be able to find that book in the description, is non-neediness. That's a word that he coined, right? And that's basically the thing that's helped him dating when he was like learning about this kind of stuff, becoming non-needy, right? And I think that's really, really crucial, being able to learn that. Okay, and basically all the things that I've said in this video will help you become a person who's non-needy, who isn't needy. Okay, so letting go makes you look less needy. Okay. And that's going to really, really help you. It's going to make you have better dates. You're not going to scare as many people off and things like that, especially if neediness has been an issue for you, okay? So that's the important distinction that I want to leave you with. You don't look needy if you let go, right? And not looking needy equals to being attractive, okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.